There are a lot of materials you can gather in Hades 2. And in fact, once the early access progresses, there's going to be even more, because I suspect there's at least 2 more boss materials and 2 more entire zones full of stuff to gather. But today, I'm going to be going over the tools that you use to gather things, the minigames you have to play to successfully gather items, and then what material is located in each region. Yep, if you've been wondering, where do I find bronze? You're going to find out. There's even going to be a fun little bonus material right at the end. With that said, Hades 2 is still in early access and more is going to get added to the game. And so the best way to keep up to date with the newest video when that happens is by getting subscribed. And hey, if you find the information useful, leave a like while you're down there. So the first step is unlocking your tools. To do this, you need the Knight's Craftwork Incantation. This will allow you to bring 1 tool with you on your nightly excursions and harvest a resource of your choice. There are currently 4 tools in the game, but if the graphic is any indication, there's a good chance there's going to be 2 more tools in the future. First up, you have the Crescent Pick, which costs 1 ashes to unlock and gives you access to ore and stone. This is going to be the first thing you unlock, since it allows you to access all the others. Then there's a Tablet of Peace, which gives you Psyche, harvested from shades, and it costs 5 silver and 5 Psyche. This is pretty darn useful because you use Psyche to increase your grasp, allowing you to use more Arcana. Third up, you have the Silver Spade, which allows you to harvest seeds and then plant them to grow them into things used in your incantations. This costs you 10 silver to unlock, so you're going to need to put that pick to work. And last up, the Rod of Fishing, which gets you fish that are then sold for bones, which you can trade for other resources, costs you 2 Fate Fabric, which is most easily obtained from a Wretched Broker, and 1 bronze, which comes from the City of Ephira. I have a dedicated video for that because it's kind of a pain to find. Don't worry, it's also going to be covered later here. So after you've unlocked your tools, you're ready to start gathering. But later on, you will be able to make your gathering better as well by upgrading the tools. This requires the Greater Favor of Gaia Incantation. It allows you to enhance the tools of Knight's Craftwork. Enhancing the Crescent Pick costs 6 glass rock and 4 iron, and will allow you to gather +1 from mineral deposits. The Tablet of Peace enhancement costs you 50 ash and 3 marble, and causes Placated Shades to yield 20% more Psyche. The Silver Spade costs 2 bronze and 2 mandrake. You gain a chance to dig up more valuable items. And the Rod of Fishing costs 4 driftwood and 2 lures, where you gain a chance to capture additional types of river denizens. In short, these upgrades are quite powerful, but you can think of them as icing on the cake. You won't really need them, but they're very nice to have, especially in the late game when you're trying to fill out all the aspects, which requires quite a bit of materials. So with that out of the way, I'd say the recommended tool use order: first of all, start with a pick, get a bunch of silver, use it to unlock stuff. After that, focus on Psyche. You need Psyche to increase your grasp so that you can fill out all your Arcana cards easily and keep them active. So you gather Psyche from shades and minor finds, but shades give a lot more from the minor finds. If you have a companion Phrynos, he will automatically placate 1 shade per night, otherwise you're going to have to gather it yourself. When you attempt to compel a shade, it's kind of a Simon Says style minigame. So you hold left, right, or both left and right depending on what the shade says. If you do it correctly, the little bubbles at the bottom fill up. If you do it incorrectly, the shade gets angry. Now if you fail once, you'll have a second chance to succeed. But if you fail twice, the shade disappears and you'll have to try again in a different run. This minigame takes a couple tries to get, but once you get it, it is pretty darn easy. Now after you've got your Psyche, I recommend focusing on the spade for a while and growing a bunch of seeds. Planting seeds within the crossroads require the Rich, Verdant, and Flourishing Soil Incantations for 2, 4, and 6 plots respectively. The reason you should start focusing on this early rather than waiting till later is a lot of incantations require the things grown from these seeds, and the plants take time to grow, so you're going to do it over a lot of runs. Then after that, when you don't need any other material in particular, fishing is a good way to get access to materials from the Wretched Broker via selling him the fish in exchange for bones. So most fish are pretty easy to catch. You just walk up to the bubbling pool and hit your fishing button. Then when you see the bobber completely submerge and hear the splash sound, note it will try to fake you out by dipping it down a little bit, but no, you have to wait for the bobber to completely and fully submerge. Hit your fishing button again. If you hit it too early or too late, the fish escapes and you'll need to try again at the next location. But occasionally you will find a rare catch. In this case, you'll see a little green fish icon and the bobber will start to wave around the screen. This is how you know a rare catch is on the line. To complete the minigame, simply wait for the fish to pull the bobber over a green fish icon and hit your fishing button. Repeat this until all of the circles at the bottom are full to reel in your catch. The fish obtained from this sell for significantly more, so when it pops up you should absolutely do it. To begin fishing, you'll need to break the ward sealing the surface and enter the city of Ephira. With that said, even though you're not in the underworld anymore, there are definitely fish to catch in the city of Ephira and the zone beyond. And so now, let's break down all of the materials by location. So how I'm going to do this is just go all the way through the regions, name everything that you get, and then talk about things a little bit more at the end. Feel free to pause and come back to this section because there'll be a handy cheat sheet on screen. In Erebus, you can either harvest molly or mushrooms without any tools, but mushrooms only appear when it's raining. Then the seed you dig up is nightshade, but where you harvest is silver, the fish you catch is moper, and the boss drops a cinder. In Oceanus, you can find lotus flowers. The seed you dig up is cattail, the stone in this case is limestone, the fish is a chitin, and the boss drops a pearl when defeated. In the Fields of Morning, you'll find beautiful white myrtle flowers. You can also dig up wheat seeds to plant back at the crossroads. Now, very occasionally you'll find glass rock. It's honestly a huge pain to find, and you should look out for it and harvest it whenever possible. Then you'll fish up some sobi, and if you defeat the boss, you'll obtain Tears of Cerberus. Well, they're actually just called tears, but yeah, it's pretty thematic. Then in Tartarus, you find shade rot around. You can dig up poppy seeds and plant them. There's marble, which you harvest from statues. I'm not quite sure that's how it works. Normally, I think you turn marble into statues, not statues into marble. Sometimes you'll fish up a jiffy, or if you're really lucky, catch a goldfish. And when you defeat the boss, you'll get zodiac sand. Now, should you dip into the realm of chaos during this time, there's also some special resources there. Occasionally, you'll find darkness. Or you can dig up some origin seeds, harvest plasma. I don't know if it's an ore or stone, but it requires a pick, so you know what? I'm going to count it as an ore. And if you're lucky, you'll fish up a mati, which sells for quite a bit to the wretched broker. Then, on the surface, the city of Ephira has moss and mushrooms. Again, mushrooms only appearing when it rains. You'll dig up garlic seeds, harvest bronze, which you absolutely need for a lot of tools. And yes, this is a thing that is quite a pain, because you need to go to the surface by undoing the wards and also be able to survive to easily harvest bronze. If you're lucky, you'll fish up a roach and defeat Polyphemus to get wool. Then last up in the Rifts of Thessaly, you'll find driftwood around. You can dig up some mandrake seeds, harvest iron from the cannonballs lying around, and if you're lucky, you'll fish up a squid, or maybe a Charybdis. And should you defeat Eris, you'll get a golden apple. That said, there's a few areas not currently in early access, so I'll try to update this video when that comes out. Now, as a quick bonus resource, there is actually one resource you can find in the crossroads. Trash. This is specifically generated by Eris after you send her back there. So yeah, when Eris is in the crossroads, keep an eye out for trash as you do need it for a couple things. There's a lot of materials to gather in Hades too, so definitely make sure you have a tool equipped each night and keep an eye out for them. It can be pretty easy to get distracted and just grind run after run, win after win, but trust me, you'll absolutely want these resources as they're a big part of a game's meta progression. Personally, I suspect there's a good chance that after early access, you'll be able to equip all of the tools at once rather than one per run, which should make things much faster. I also think it would feel a little bit better that way. That said, it hasn't been horrible to collect things slowly, so if that's what the devs want, I respect their decision. I'm kinda curious. Did you come here because there was a specific material that stumped you and you couldn't find? For me personally, I actually struggled for a while to find bronze. I saw that I needed it, and I didn't know where to get it. Hopefully you can learn from my mistakes and figure out how to unlock that way sooner than I did. But if there's something that you struggled with or something else you want to know about Hades 2, be sure to let me know down in the comments below. And if you're looking for something else to watch, I have several other resources on the game, including a complete beginner's guide and a weapon overview. Links to those will be up in the card and down below. Now before I go, a special thanks to my patrons and channel members for the continued support. For as low as $1 a month, you can help support the creation of resources just like this. Link to support is down below. Also, thanks to everyone who watched to the end. I hope you learned something, and I'll see you in the next one.